I'd take her out real quick just to see if.
What's up, fight fans? Welcome to the UFC Wichita UFC on ESPN Plus 4 post-fight show, brought to you by SB Nation MMA, which includes BloodyElbow.com and MMAmania.com. I'm your host, as always, Flying Brian J, and joining me as usual is the Zane Simon, hopefully going to bring the positivity to this post-fight show as we recap. For some reason, the UFC taking a couple of Brazilians to Kansas to whoop up on some Americans in front of a crowd that was very, very USA. USA. What do you think, Zane?
It's the Heartland, so you're going to get a little more of that.
I know.
But yeah, I mean, it was almost kind of a tragic night, honestly. It almost, the UFC, they got these cards like this that they kind of underbook. They're not pumping a lot of big fights onto them, and that means they have to be violent. You hope they're really violent. You hope Ben Rothwell shows up and does something cool. You hope that Amari Akhmadov or Tim Boach gets a big KO. You hope that Anthony Martin hits a KO or Sergio Moraes hits a slick sub or something like that. And this fight, a lot of the people like that you're kind of hoping will deliver in middle of the road fights just did not deliver. But fortunately, it finished on a really strong 3-fight note, and even with 7 decisions, got us in 20 minutes under time for the allotted window, which I can't complain about the UFC coming in under time on an slightly earlier card that is just there to get dudes through contracts.
Absolutely. I mean, it's before 10 o'clock my time. We had 13 fights. It's pretty fantastic. And the last 3, like you said, ended really well. Eddie, bring that positivity. What did you think about this card? Give us your
What's
overall.
up, bro, Sevs? I think the card started kind of boring, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Everybody does.
So many just decisions and just, like, fights where nothing was fucking happening. Like, they were so sticky and just, like, so will someone land a significant strike, please?
Yeah.
And like, it's just... I was watching this card with someone who has never watched a full MMA match in their entire life. I know.
Yeah,
and I felt bad.
They're not going to watch it again, are they?
Well, they will.
Okay.
Because they love me.
Oh, good.
But
okay.
Probably not on their own, though.
Yeah.
So, like, this was a terrible card for someone who's never seen MMA to, like, be like, oh. Like, even they were like, this is boring.
Yeah, no. Well, that's kind of the secret behind sports. If you're a hardcore sports fan, is that almost every sport is actually really boring if you don't care about it.
Yeah.
It's, we all learn to care about all the little shit where you're like, oh man, Sergio Moraes almost got that takedown. That was cool. Kind of. If I'm being totally honest here, nah, not really.
Nah. Like, very, very few cool moments in the entire card. But there were some wow moments. Like, there were definitely some wow factors. And, like Niko Price, like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, talking about just, like, finding a way to pull out a victory when, like, you shouldn't be pulling out a victory. Like, impressive and fun to watch.
Run over after, like, he came out of the gate, blitzed Means, and then just got totally run over for, like, 3 solid minutes before landing that KO.
Yeah, that was beautiful. But, like, he has a knack for doing this, though. Like, that Randy Brown knockout, never seen that before. Like, this dude, obviously, he's explosive, and you have to always be on your P's and Q's when you're fighting this guy because he can just end it like that and from anywhere. So, like, that was probably my shining star. Not to jump ahead, but that was probably my shining star of the entire card is that fight, honestly. It was cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and I think we'd give it fight of the night. It was amazing. I mean, just last week we gave Cody Garbrandt versus Pedro Munoz was a one-rounder, got fight of the night, and I think this one was equally as entertaining with the back-and-forth nature of it.
Yeah, I can't see what else you would give fight. Well, the only other thing would be the JDS Lewis fight, just because it was crazy for as long as it lasted. Like, it too was also just a really wild, weird fight. But it didn't have nearly as many momentum swings, even though JDS probably almost got finished like 3 times in the first round, and almost finished Lewis 3 times.
It was exciting. It was definitely exciting.
My shining star would be Easy DS. That was absolutely amazing, and what made it even more impressive in my eyes was that Curtis Millender said exactly how the fight was going to go down. He said, within 2 minutes, Elizeu Zaleski's going to shoot a takedown on me, but I'm not going to let him. And he was wrong. Like,
Yeah, that's all on Millender. Like, he'd been looking so composed recently. He'd been looking so like slick and careful about his range and all that. And the real thing is that Zaleski just came out and tagged him with like a hard overhand and or hard left hook and a hard body kick right out of the gate. And Millender was just like, "Oh, I got to get this back." And he tried to come forward and like swing wild on Zaleski, and he just swung right into an easy takedown. And then we've all seen that Millender's game off his back is bad, and that was just long. Not you're just counting the seconds at that point.
Yeah, I love Zaleski though. Like this dude is fun shit. Like he's tough. He can bang it out with you. He can take a shot. He can deliver not fancy knockout strikes. Like he's got these capoeira kicks. He's just fun. And, he's smart. He's like, oh shit, Curtis Millender, he's tall. He likes to knock fools out. Bet. I'm going to make him think we're standing. I'm going to take him down, and I'm going to get this easy W, as I should, being the more complete, the more advanced fighter. Like, super smart. I love to see that out of him. And I he's one of those guys that no matter who he's fighting, I'm going to watch him fight because he's just violent. Even though this was a gentle win compared to some of his others, it was still pretty. He ran through Curtis Millender.
Speaking of a gentle win, I think his next opponent should be the gentleman, Genchiboa, Santiago Ponzinibbio. What do you think about that matchup?
I mean, I'd watch the shit out of it. I watch Santiago Ponzinibbio fight fucking anybody, honestly. Like,
and same thing with
with Zaleski. Let him fight Ben Askren.
Sure, shit, why not? I'd be down for it. Like, these are dudes that I will watch fight anybody at that point. So yeah, match them up. Or somebody suggested the winner of Gunnar Nelson versus Leon Edwards. Like, I'd be 100% down for that.
Dude, I'm even cool if he fights Robbie Lawler.
Yeah, shit, why not?
That'd be a ton of fun.
Yeah, an absolute ton of fun. He is one of those guys. #would watch every single time he steps in the octagon. Zane, Eddie, and I have both given a shining star. Do you want to give your shining star that wasn't something we've already talked about? Or a what the fuck?
What the fuck I'm going to go. Actually, it's kind of a shining star because really, I got to give so much props to Derrick Lewis for the doubled over to right hand thing. Like, even knowing he got hurt for real, to still have the presence of mind to make it look like a fake, to draw JDS in and know that JDS was going to come in, and that's his moment to like lunge in and land that huge crushing overhand. Like,
it was shades of Pete Sell, Scott Smith.
Yep.
Back in the day.
2006.
But it didn't work out.
Oh, who was it? Terry Martin? Who was it? Terry Martin got fucking I think he got knocked out in that. And I want to say it might have been oh damn it.
Didn't everybody knock out Terry Martin?
Well, except for when he was knocking people out. I was
Irvin, Mike, or the Sandman. Is that who did him in?
No, it was Chris Lieben. It's fucking that Chris Lieben fight. I think he had Chris Lieben hurt and like tried to swarm him, and Lieben just pulled out that punch off his hip to knock him out.
That was classic Lieben.
Yeah,
he was like, "Hey, the painkillers I'm on are stronger than the ones you're on." Bless his heart. He's bare knuckle boxing now. Are you fucking kidding me?
Knocking out that guy that sent out the dick pic. Who's that guy?
What'd you say about me?
No, Chris Lieben. He just knocked out the guy that like put the dick pic on Twitter.
Phil Baroni.
Yeah, Baroni. Yeah, fucking Phil Baroni. Oh, Eddie, I was thinking after Easy DS won, I was like, he is almost as handsome as Ricky Ketchup, man.
Oh, Ricky Ketchup. Oh man, he strikes again. I think he's still my Twitter name right now.
No, he definitely
I haven't come up with something clever to replace it, so Ricky Ketchup it is for the time being.
All right. We got any other things to touch on? There wasn't a lot else to go on in this card, and
man, I'm bummed that I brought a brand new MMA fan into this shit. Honestly,
yeah, this is a hardcore fans card. Like, the payoff was all at the top. It was good if you were like. It'd be good if you just like did what I tried to do with my wife, which is just wave her over for the main event and be like, "Yeah, come on, watch this. This fight's gonna be fun." But everything else is just like, nah, you don't want to sit here for this.
If they just watched the last three, it would have been fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we should mention Anthony Rocco Martin Toby
Yeah.
Martin, he is looking fucking lights out at welterweight. Like he's looking pretty damn strong, and he's winning fights decisively. You know, he's something to watch at 170. Like 155 just didn't serve him well.
Yeah,
Like,
this win isn't gonna light anybody's fire to see him, but it's a really good win. It'll run him into bigger fights. So he looked composed, which is nice, and it gives me another opportunity to call him Anthony Rocco's Modern Life or Anthony Rocco's Martin Life.
Yeah. Did Connor make that up, or did you make that up?
Yeah, Connor made that up.
Okay.
That's all him.
That shit's hilarious.
It is hilarious, and I'm never gonna stop saying it. But Eddie doesn't get it, so he just has to nod and.
I dig it. Rocco Martin's life. It's clever. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's still plenty of time
I
left in
won't
the
say
evening you
it.
could watch that show.
I will never say it, but
You already
respect
did
it.
just say it, so.
You did.
I won't repeat it.
Okay.
I think you absolutely should. But yeah, I don't think there's much else that I'd want you guys to touch on. There's not a lot of importance on the fight card.
Oh, wait. How can we forget how much JDS singing Happy Birthday was life?
Oh yeah, that
Like,
was
come
really
on.
nice. That was
That-
really nice.
That was the best part of the entire card for me.
Yeah, especially because for a minute I forgot that they sued to get Happy Birthday back in the public domain.
Yeah.
I was just like, no, JDS, no, you're gonna fucking get they're gonna have to pay for this shit, man.
Yeah.
It was cool that the crowd sung along, but I had no idea what his kid's name was, and the crowd just kind of paused, and it actually kind of worked out for him.
He named his kid after a Japanese menu item. Kid's name's Bento.
What is bento?
It's a style of serving. It's a way of serving food in Japan. So like a bento box.
Look at Zane getting fed answers from the couch.
Yeah, that's what I have her for. That's why I have her for. It's like, it's the thing with like the newscaster and the earpiece where you just like
Okay.
they seem really.
Well, hold on real quick. Hey, why
Let me
don't
check
you
with the
feed me
truck.
the answers over here?
Hey, let me check with the truck. Like when John Anna couldn't think of a stat tonight.
Exactly.
I'll tell you in just 1 second, Paul Felder. Let me look at the lexicon. But yeah, sign it out, Zane.
It's a single portion takeout or home packed meal. That's what a bento.
Oh, okay. So it's like a Lucy cigarette, kind of.
Yeah, except for food.
Right.
A Lucy food sounds really weird.
Lucy Food Sagano dos Santos.
What are we
Yeah.
talking about? What's going on here?
All right, we're done. We're all. You can find me on Twitter at TheZaneTime. You can find Eddie on Twitter at TheEddieMercado. You can find both of us over at BloodyElbow.com. We'll be back with the 6th round post-fight show. That'll drop tomorrow. And that's over on Bloody Elbow Presents on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, all that good stuff. So tune in for that, and we'll see you all then. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. See you later,
Adios.
Ricky Ketchup.
I will see you. How's father life treating you?
It's going really, really well. I've gotten some sleep lately. The
I
guys.
was about to say, you look rested. You look well rested.
Thanks a lot, dude. How's my shirt this time?
It's very, very on point and on time. And I feel inferior with my masculinity now. So I'm going to go.
I was just like, it looks like a dad shirt, you know? I don't know.
It's very daddish, but still stylish, you know? You could be in a Hanes catalog.
Oh, dope. I like it. Thanks a lot,
Not
man.
the underwear section, but like the... All right, I got to go for Zane gets mad at me.
I see you, buddy. Good
right,
luck
bro.
on the 6th round.
Thank you.
Okay, fight fans, for the rest of the show, I, Flying Brian J, will just be guiding you through the rest of the fights that we didn't touch on during that portion where we had the guys from the 6th round on, and you in the comment section. 7 Things is here, Abandoned Reality, a World War I Tim, Rob Amon is here with the axe cutting people, Adam Rose, Kelly Mendez, Oro USA, Atadal. I always forget how to say his name, but he'll tell me how to do it. Anyway, you guys are my co-hosts for the rest of the show. Let's go down the line. Of course, in the main event of the evening, Junior Dos Santos TKO'd Derrick the Black Beast Lewis in the 2nd round, officially at 1 minute and 58 seconds, I believe, into the round. Derrick Lewis did his thing. He backed up, ate some shots to the belly, threw big winging punches back, did a bunch of jumping switch kicks at Junior Dos Santos. None of it deterred Dos Santos from his game plan. He was going to jab the body, leg kick, and try to stay away from the big overhand rights of Lewis. He ate a couple of big rights, fell down on a couple of occasions, but ultimately a spinning heel to the liver Spinning back kick got the heel to Derrick Lewis's liver, which is what made him double over. And we talked about the fake and hurt, but he was actually hurt. Then coming with the overhand right to Dos Santos. That's where that happened. And then in the second round, it was kind of a pawing jab out there, distance fighting jab, and then kind of a slapping downward right straight. Had a weird trajectory on it. Slapped Derrick Lewis right on the temple, and that was basically all that she wrote. Rob Amon in the comment section says to give Junior Dos Santos to Francis the Predator Ngannou next. That's what I tweeted. I think that's what should happen. The commentators, John Anik and Paul Felder, who, by the way, I think they did a fantastic fucking job on this fight card. I love listening to Paul Felder. Him and Daniel Cormier, they bring a certain zest for life, a certain amount of positivity on top of knowledge to the booth that's a lot of fun. They said that Dos Santos could get a title shot against Daniel Cormier next if it's not Brock Lesnar. And this, to me, just highlights why is Stipe not fought lately. You know, I was thinking if Derrick Lewis won, we'd force Stipe to fight him. Stipe wants a rematch, get in there and knock somebody else out, get a victory. And look at this. Junior Dos Santos, he got knocked out by Stipe Miocic. May of 2017. Since then has gone on a 3-fight win streak against Blagoy Ivanov, who got a decision victory over Ben Rothwell, controversially tonight. TKO of Tai Tuivasa, and then Derrick Lewis. And he might get a title shot. I don't know, but I think JDS versus Ngannou would be a lot of fun. Tommy Richmond says Ponzinibbio versus Zaleski Dos Santos would be nasty. I fucking love the idea of that fight. Loser says Junior Dos Tacos. Ooh, I might have to get myself some tacos tomorrow. A toddle, I guess. Ngannou versus Dos Santos for a vacant title once DC beats Brock Lesnar and retires. Fine with that. And World War I Tim says, I don't understand why Lewis kicks as much. Like he trained with George Foreman when he was younger. Why doesn't he have more of a boxing style? Abandoned Reality says, who is next for Lewis? I think Lewis versus Overeem seems pretty reasonable. Rob Ames says Lewis needs to step down in competition. So right now, Lewis versus Overeem, Overeem is booked versus Alexander Volkov on April the 20th in, I think it's an overseas card. But anyway, so we've got Alexander Volkov booked against Overeem right now. If Overeem were to win that fight, sure, you give him to Derrick Lewis. But if Volkov wins, then you got an issue there with Derrick Lewis already just beat Alexander Volkov. In the heavyweight rankings, Derrick Lewis is only behind, you know what I want? Derrick Lewis versus Curtis Razor Blades. I think that sounds pretty good. Big D and VIP. You told me last week, right, that Big D and VIP. Oh, yeah, he spelled it out for me. What's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Oh, or Derrick Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa. That makes a lot of sense. Casey Johnson, JDS versus Ngannou, and Lewis versus Kane. I had this thought, and I'll tell you in a second. As soon as Junior Dos Santos won this fight, I was thinking, in 2019, how rickety Cain Velasquez was looked on his way to the cage, in the cage, and everything against Ngannou. 2019, I think Junior Dos Santos could defeat Cain Velasquez in a fourth fight. We're probably not going to book that fight, but it's just interesting to me, the career trajectories, how much damage your body sustains, how many injuries you sustain, and everything that goes on in your career, how that could affect a future matchup and a rematch between a couple of guys. Similar to, this is off topic, but BJ Penn recently got scheduled to fight Clay Guida. And I was thinking, instead of giving him Guida, you give him Diego the Nightmare Sanchez, because that's a rematch of when Diego got a title shot against BJ Penn and BJ won that fight. Because I think in 2019, Diego Sanchez wins that fight. Bringing it back to this fight card, UFC Wichita, I think 2019 Junior Dos Santos would defeat Cain Velasquez. I do like that matchup, though, of Velasquez versus Lewis. But, yeah, I would stick with Blades versus Lewis and Ngannou versus Junior Dos Santos. What's up, Dylan? 420? What's up, paid programming? Abandoned Reality says, R.I.P. BJ Penn. It's clear that Dana was friends with Chuck and is not friends with Penn. You know, Actually, let's think about this. So BJ Penn's not getting matched up against killers. His last fight, what's that guy's name? What? Tell me who the last guy that beat BJ Penn was. Ryan, BJJ fucking Wizard Ryan. Anyway, that guy's not going to knock out BJ Penn, you know? Ryan Hall. Okay, thank you, Eric Randall. Ryan Hall was never going to knock out BJ Penn. It's not likely that Clay Guida is going to knock out BJ Penn. You know, he's a wrestler, he's a controller. The likelihood that he actually puts brain damage on BJ Penn is pretty minimal. So in that sense, BJ Penn is not getting fed to like heavy hitters and not being fed to the wolves. Maybe Dana White actually likes him. I don't think that he's just being, you know, sent out to slaughter. But let's continue down talking about this event that we just got done watching. Co-main event, of course, Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos finished Curtis Millender with a rear naked choke in the first round. There was an interview with Guilherme Cruz. I think it's Guillermo Cruz from MMA Fighting. He's a Portuguese. He speaks Portuguese. He corrected me on a translator thing. Anyway, he did an interview with Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos, and dos Santos said he thinks his easiest path to he's a mixed martial artist. He's not just in there to kickbox or do capoeira, and he's going to look for the easiest path to victory, which would be to take down and get a submission. He said, I only have 2 submissions on my resume. I don't have one in the UFC. I think I can get one here. Got it. A title says Elizeu versus the winner of Thompson versus Pettis, or even the loser, because he asked for a fight in the top 5. I think he absolutely deserves a fight in the top 5, and Thompson or Pettis would be right there. But now that there's a fresh champion, Thompson could be looking at getting another title shot, because he doesn't have to go through Tyron Woodley now. He's back in the title picture, actually. And if Pettis beats him, he's in the title picture. So I think, yeah, Mark Trim said matchup Zaleski dos Santos with Ponzinibbio, and that was my initial reaction. You shoot him up the rankings, but not too high right now. Rob Amon says Zaleski versus the winner of Leon Rocky Edwards and Gunnar Nelson. Understandable, but that's like moving him laterally in the rankings. With this, he's on a 7-fight win streak. He only has 1 loss in the UFC. It was a split decision or a decision loss at least. Three finishes in a row. Let's move him. Let's just, like Johnny Walker, let's send him straight to the top of the division and see if he can hang. You know, I think that'd be great. Before that, Niko Price, Tim Means. Means was getting a lot of, like, the 209 Diaz brothers open-handed slaps on Niko Price. He'd slap him with the like his lead hand and then come with the left straight, and was just lighting up Niko Price. And in fact, before that, after Price had hurt Tim Means got a body lock, got in there, got his hands clasped behind the lower back of Niko Price, got him up, got him to the ground. And then from that moment, the momentum was purely on Tim Means' side, and he was getting those long, straight shots in order. He would grab the lead hand of Niko Price, pull him in, get him with an elbow. And with 20 seconds to go in the first round, it didn't look like it. Niko Price was definitely on roller skates. He was on wobbly legs, and it looked like Tim Means was coming in for the kill. And he just ate a huge right hand, a wide right from Price, and sent him careening to the canvas. And that was all she wrote. Really fun fight, fun back and forth moments. We talked about with the guys from the 6th round that could be fight of the night. And they said, I don't know what else you would give fight of the night. I would give 5 performance bonuses instead. So let's get into that right now, if we can, guys. Let's get into our post-fight bonuses, and then we'll go over the rest of the card. I know a lot of you guys want to talk about the Ben Rothwell versus Blagoy Ivanov decision. We'll get to that, but right now let's get to our performance bonuses. I'm going to look at Twitter to find the official ones, but I think, in my opinion, you have to give a performance bonus to Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos. You got to give one to Junior dos Santos. You got to give one to Niko Price. And then, because on this show we give out 5 performance bonuses, or 1 fight of the night and then 3 performance bonuses, because we're not actually giving anybody any money at all. I would give a performance bonus to Alex Morono because in his fight against Zach Otto, Otto went for a takedown. Morono locked in a guillotine choke. He got it in so tight that he was on his back at first, rolled it over so he was on top of Zach Otto. It looked to me like Otto tapped, and at that point, Morono let go of the guillotine and then started working on ground and pound. I think it was revealed that there was no tap actually. He was just grabbing the elbow of Morono to get out of the submission attempt, but then whatever. It was all elementary after that. Morono flattened Zach Otto out and got the TKO stoppage after that. When I was watching it live, it looked as though Morono got a submission win and then a TKO win in the same fucking round, in round number 1. And if that doesn't deserve a post-fight bonus, I don't know what does. Plus, Morono walked to the octagon to Trivium Strife. He's a metalhead. He loves Viking metal and metal of all kinds. I'm a metalhead as well. And tonight, there were not very many very good walkout songs, so that was a shining star. I'd give Morono a post-fight bonus. And then the 5th one for us, I would give Matt Schnell a performance bonus for whooping the shit out of Louis Smolka. Schnell got a lot of combinations, like heavy strikes landed, punches and bunches on Smolka on the feet. I think Smolka got the fight to the ground, and off of his back, Schnell hit. Schnell went for a guillotine attempt. Looked like it could have been locked in. I saw him going for the high elbow, similar to what the Assassin Baby got on Louis Smolka. You know, Smolka's first loss in his 4-fight losing streak before getting cut from the UFC. But then he didn't get it. Smolka got out of that by being really patient, got himself out of some danger. But then Schnell locked in the triangle choke, and I think it was an amazing performance. And I would give him an extra $50,000 as well. Marcus Magee, he loves when Morono walks out to Amon Amarth. I love Amon Amarth. The Way of Vikings is a fucking great song to lift weights to. But let's get back to your guys' post-fight bonuses. Let's see. Atado says fight of the night to Lewis and Dos Santos. Performances go to Zaleski, Dos Santos, and Price. Rob, remind me, we're going to come back to your roster cuts in a second. Tony Richmond, performance bonuses to Lewis for wiping his eye on Herb Dean's shirt. That was a what the fuck moment. I didn't know you could do that, but it was pretty awesome. What he's referring to is early on in the first round, Junior Dos Santos put his thumb in Derrick Lewis's eye, and Dos Santos actually protested pretty hard, but you could clearly see on the replay that he put his left thumb in the right eye of Derrick Lewis. As soon as it happened, Herb Dean came over to put us, pause the action, check out the eye of Derrick Lewis, and Derrick grabbed the shirt sleeve of Herb Dean, the referee, and wiped his eye with it. I was like, that's a fucking classic Derrick Lewis moment. It was pretty dope. Paid Programming says Herb Dean's performance was pretty good. World War I Tim says Julian Erosa, Darius, and Dawson deserve a performance bonus. So Julian Erosa versus Grant Dawson, he's given fight of the night, I'm guessing. And Darius getting performance bonus for his submission victory over Drew Dober in round number 2. Loser says Smolka is going the Henan Barao route. Ooh, not good. Abandon Reality says, who is next for Rocco Martin? I'm not sure. I was thinking Niko Price. They're in the same division, same card. They both got wins. Pretty good. Why not just do that? Okay, let's check out the real post-fight bonuses, and then we're going to talk about Blagoy Ivanov, the decision win over Ben Rothwell. If we can find them. Hold on. Bear with me. Man, I don't think they're out yet. Okay. Post-fight bonuses aren't out yet officially, it doesn't look like. If you guys see them, you let me know and we'll put them on the official program. Tyler Green says, do I think that Big Ben Rothwell got robbed? Thank you, Abandoned Reality. I want to get back to BD's comment. I don't think that Ben Rothwell got robbed. Let's look at the stats. I didn't pay that close attention to the fight. It did seem that, you know, how Rothwell walks forward with his hands all like this, like, whoa, 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 what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then, like, fucking left hand hits Blagoy as Blagoy's circling to his right over and over and over again. It seemed like Ben Rothwell was landing with the harder punches. The official stats have him landing more strikes at a lower percentage, and he was the one that was moving forward while Blagoy Ivanov was moving, you know, laterally the entire time. Let's look at the stats per round. Okay, round one stats had Blagoy landing one more strike than Ben Rothwell. Round two, there was even, 27-27, and round three, Ben Rothwell, 28-19. Looking at that and thinking about how I really think Ben Rothwell was landing with the harder strikes, I would lean giving the victory to Ben Rothwell. However, it wasn't that exciting of a fight, if I'm being honest with you. You know, there were no ebbs or flows. It started off, Rothwell coming forward doing this shit, Blagoy circling to his right, and that's like what happened for 15 minutes. Marcus Magee says he thought Rothwell won, but close fight. Haplo Group 1 says JDS versus Ngannou next. Yes, yes, yes. Mark Trim, round 3, Ben murked him. Both other rounds were so close, and Ben walked him down like 78% of the fight. He should have won, but so close it wasn't a robbery. That was a Ben Rothwell fight. Yeah, that's what... Yes, exactly, Mark. It seems like I would think Ben Rothwell would have won, but it's razor thin. The first 2 rounds could have gone either way. I mean, shit, round 2, even on strikes. And then, you know, Rothwell was bleeding quite a bit in round 2, I believe. So... Javier Lafarga, Derrick Lewis clearly felt a tap. Marcus Magee enjoyed that heavyweight fight that we just talked about. Let's continue down this card if there's too much more to talk about. We covered most of it. Drew Dober against Beneil Darius. Dober came out, was landing big left hands on Darius, and Darius, you know, he got knocked out by Alexander Hernandez. He got knocked out by Edson Barboza, and it seemed like Drew Dober was going to be able to put Darius out in the very first round, and I was hoping for it. I'm from Nebraska. Drew Dober's from Nebraska. Nothing against Darius. It's just I'm a homer. So yeah, Darius was able to survive the onslaught in the first round that Drew Dober was putting at him. And in the post-fight interview, even Darius was like, hey, man, I was surprised that I was able to stay alert and awake after eating some of those strikes. I was really happy about it. He was just as stunned about his ability to endure the damage after those knockouts as we were, which is kind of nice. He was really humble in the post-fight interview. And in fact, they showed a lot of mutual respect after the fight was over. And Haplo Group says he couldn't believe that Drew Dober re-engaged in a grappling exchange in round number 2 after getting up from the takedown from Darius. Not a very good idea, but in the past, Drew Dober has had success with his wrestling like he did against Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman, and Drew Dober actually has a background in wrestling. He wrestled his junior and senior year in high school. But anyway, second round, Darius gets the takedown and kind of had his way with Dober in a sense. He went for the mount, but Dober was able to switch his hips out and get back to the half guard. It didn't really matter, though. Darius was able to he said he was in a Kimura series, I think, and then snagged a triangle armbar. And when Dober tapped, Darius, being a gentleman like he is, let go of it immediately, and Dober let out a pretty big scream because his arm was hurting quite a bit. And Darius said yes, he heard his elbow pop before Dober tapped, I believe is what he said. Rob Amon's roster cuts. Let's get to those. No, wait. Mark Trim says, what happened to the Beneil Darius that walked James Vick down, knocked him out with an overhand right in like a minute? Professor Kush is getting blocked. I think that Darius left when he got knocked out by Edson Barboza, probably, and especially left when he got knocked out by Alexander Hernandez. B Piper, I hope you cash tonight, bro. So I sometimes put out parlays on my Twitter. You can follow me at FlyingBrianJ. And my parlay for this event was Alex White at -140, Alex Morono at -170, parlayed with Anthony Rocco Martin at -210, parlayed at +302, put 6 units on that, cash for 18.12 units. Ching ching. But then I put 2 units on Tim the Barbarian Boach and lost, so I ended up plus 16.12 units on the night. But Rob Amon's got his roster cuts, and he thinks that the Barbarian Tim Boach should retire. And I'm fine with that, because I guess coming into this fight, in the pre-fight interviews that they do with John Anik and Paul Felder, Tim Boach was talking a lot about retirement, and he didn't seem to be able to pull the trigger too much tonight in his decision loss to Omari Akhmedov. And Javier Lafarga, what happened with the Tim Boach fight? Tim pursued Omari Akhmedov as Akhmedov circled the cage, but whenever Boach would try to come in with the punches, Akhmedov would hit him and then retreat and be able to. He would hit and not get hit in return. In fact, there was a right straight, just a short right straight that got Boach on the nose, fucking crushed the bone part of his nose in. And that was basically, I mean, that's a lot of damage done, but that was the most significant strike in the whole fight. It was basically Omari circling, the Barbarian pursuing, and not being able to do much about it. So I think I'm okay with Rob's idea of having Boach retire. And who should be cut? Dan Morit. So Dan Morit lost in the first fight of the night to Alex White. He came out and he looked pretty decent. At first, he hit White with some big shots, got in on takedown, a little bit of ground control to Major Tom. But after that, he seemed to gas a little bit. He couldn't do a lot about it. He's been in the UFC twice. He lost to Burns via knockout in the second round, and he lost via decision to Alex White. Perhaps we give him a third shot, but honestly, if we cut him, what does it matter? But are you going to care about Dan Morit's next fight? Like, oh shit, Dan Morit's got a fight booked. Oh yeah, I want to watch that fight card for shizzle, man. No, you're not going to care. So if they cut him, they cut him. But why not? Why not? Thanks, B Piper. That's a long time. I did. It used to be called Flying with Best Fight Picks. So you've been around a long time. At least 3 years. Oh wait, let's continue down on this fight card. Well, I think, Rob, is that it for your roster cuts? Marcus Magee is happy that Darius is going well. He always liked the guy. He's a very respectful guy. In the post-fight interview, he only thanked God, and he's a very humble guy. Got a kind of high voice, but other than that, he's a good dude. Yana Kunitskaya versus Marion Renault. First 2 rounds sucked. It was like single strike kickboxing match at a distance. Sometimes they'd be in a clinch, and Kunitskaya was the larger fighter and was able to control Renault a little better. Kunitskaya was the more technical fighter, had the better technique. It was more crisp with what she was doing. But Renault was the more tenacious, the feistier woman in there. And in the third round, Renault showed that tenacity and that feist. Walked Kunitskaya down and bloodied her up. I said that she looked like Heath Ledger's rendition of the Joker. Her face was really fucking bloody. But Renault clearly only won the third round and then was surprised that she lost the decision. I mean, you can't lose the first 2 rounds clearly and then do a lot of damage in the third and expect to win. Rob says that Renault's a gatekeeper. I don't know how long she is for the sport. I mean, she's 41 years old. and it wasn't a war, but it was a pretty damaging fight tonight with Kunitskaya. How much longer can she make it in the UFC, being 41 years old, against, like, Kunitskaya is 29, Crazy. Before that, Grant Dawson versus Julian Erosa. Dawson took down Erosa pretty much with ease, but Erosa did a fucking amazing job getting back to his feet. Kicking Dawson off, kicking him once he had Dawson standing to get some space to get back to his feet, throwing up submission attempts, re-guarding when Grant Dawson was, looking to improve his position. And I was impressed with Julian Erosa off of his back and being able to do that. But Grant Dawson did a really good job. What was weird about that was Dawson was upset that he didn't get a finish afterward, and his coach James Krause kept saying, "Hey, act like a fucking winner. That was a great performance. Act like a fucking winner." And he's like, "Yes, sir." And there was like some tension between Krause and Dawson for a bit. I mean, I get it that there's going to be a lot of testosterone and hormones going. A lot of shit's going in through your mind. Adrenaline and all that jazz in the post-fight, but I just thought it was a little weird, the exchange that he had with Krause. I don't know the dynamic of their coaching scheme. In fact, Dawson said that he thinks James Krause is the best fucking coach in mixed martial arts right now, which, if true, is insane because, James Krause is currently competing. That's, insane. The post-fight bonuses, okay. Yes, they are out now. These are via BloodyElbow.com. The article's by Steffi Haynes. Performances of the night went to Niko Price and Beneil Darius. And fight of the night went to the main event, Junior Dos Santos versus Derrick the Black Beast Lewis. Interesting. Yeah, there was some back. It was probably the most exciting thing of the night, maybe. I know Tim Means versus Niko Price was more exciting. I think that should have got fight of the night and just give Dos Santos the 50,000 and Beneil Darius the other 50,000. But Atadal says Zaleski got snubbed. Yes, he did. Marcus Magee says after that fight, Yana is a front runner for the Andrei Arlovsky lookalike contest because she got her nose so fucked up. She got fucked up. Rob Amon says Tim Means should retire. Instead of that, how about we have him fight Anthony Rocco Martin? So there we go. I think that's let's just run through the rest of the results. Maurice Green defeated Jeff Hughes via split decision. It was a really, really boring low-level heavyweight fight that I didn't really pay attention to. We already talked about Matt Schnell defeating Luis Smolka. We already talked about Alex Morono versus Zach Otto. And we kind of touched on Alex White defeating Dan Moret via unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. In that fight, round number one, Moret got Alex White down. But after that, he was unable to get... Ooh, Rob Amon says Means versus Barberina. Fuck yeah, who wouldn't watch that? After Barberina, that fight against Vicente Luque, my God. Who doesn't want to watch a Brian Barberina fight? Yes. Absolutely fantastic idea, Rob. But back to White versus Moret. Second round, Moret couldn't get the fight to the ground anymore. Alex White was doing a really good job on getting underhooks, switching the fight to be in his favor with Moret's back on the cage and White looking for the takedown attempts. And at a distance, White was landing with a lot of power and seemed to hurt Moret with every single shot that he landed. It was a clear 29-28 in my mind. That's what it ended up being, and it was pretty decent. Overall, what I want you guys to do, if you can, please do this. Give the video a thumbs up. It would mean a lot to me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My goal for thumbs up is 50 on this video. But after I sign out, once the comment section is open and not just the live chat, tell me what post-fight rating 1 to 10 you would give this entire night of fights. I said coming into like Blagoy versus Ben Rothwell, I would give it a 2 out of 10. Not really fucking good. But the last 3 fights turned out to be phenomenal. They were all finishes. They all had some ebb. They all had some flow. They had some fun post-fight interviews. Elizeu Zaleski Dos Santos is one handsome son of a gun. There was some controversy with the Blagoy Ivanov versus Ben Rothwell thing, but overall, I'd go with a 4.5. It was still a below average fight card. And that's that. But yeah, guys, if you could come back when the live chat's gone and the comment section is actually here, tell me what post-fight rating you would give there. Rob gives it a 3. Paid programming gives it a 3. But again, please put it in the comment section. You can subscribe to the audio-only version of this if you just search for Flying Brian Show wherever you get your podcast, or search for Bloody Elbow Presents, and there's this show along with a bevy of other very well put together podcasts presented, of course, by BloodyElbow.com. My name's Flying Brian J. Follow me on Twitter at Flying Brian J. Follow me on Facebook at Flying Brian Show. I got an Untapped because I drink a lot of craft beer, and I'll be back very soon for a top 3 fights to watch for UFC Fight Night Till versus Masvidal, which is UFC on ESPN Plus 5 or ESPN Fight Night 147. The main event, Till versus Masvidal. Co-main event, Leon Edwards versus Gunnar Nelson. We've got Volkan Oezdemir versus Dominic Reyes. And until then, I hope you have a safe night. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday, because we actually have some time to maybe spend with our families because the fight card got over so early. And I appreciate you. Namaste. Namaste, namaste. Appreciate you.